It began as a search for gold, but what they found under the jungle might change what we know about human history. For hundreds of years, people have searched for El Dorado, the legendary city of gold said to lie deep in South America. Spanish explorers went into the unknown, hoping to find paradise shining beneath the trees. Most never returned. But in 2019, a new team followed those same trails. They were not looking for gold. They were looking for the truth. And what they found beneath the green might be the real secret behind the legend. The story of El Dorado began in the 1500s, when Spanish explorers heard rumors of a city where kings covered themselves in gold and bathed in sacred lakes. For the conquistadors, it was not just a story. It was a promise of power and eternal glory. One of the first explorers to chase it was Francisco de Orellana. He sailed down the Amazon River and claimed to see great cities hidden in the forest, with stone roads and towers that reached above the trees. Most historians said he was lying, but some think he was right. His last notes described a valley the jungle refused to give up. He wrote about strange lights beneath the soil and stones that hummed when the wind blew. Centuries passed. The forest took back everything. Then, in 2018, satellite scans revealed shapes under the trees, straight lines and patterns too perfect to be natural. Soon after, a set of old maps appeared in Quito, Ecuador. They were drawn by a Jesuit priest who claimed he saw walls made of metal hidden under the vines. A group of explorers and scientists decided to find it. They believed El Dorado was not a myth. They believed it was real, and maybe something more. At first, everything was normal. The jungle was harsh, but they were prepared. Then their tools started to fail. Compasses spun in circles. GPS screens went black. The deeper they went, the stranger it got. One scientist, Dr. Vargas, wrote in his journal, "The forest hums. It feels like it's watching us." A few days later, they made their discovery. Under massive tree roots, they found something impossible. It was not stone or wood. It was smooth, cold, but alive. When they hit it, it echoed like a metal drum. It was curved, not built from blocks or bricks, but molded like one solid piece. A geologist said it did not match any metal known to science. When they tried to cut a sample, their gear shut down. Even their laser scanners showed nothing, as if it was not really there. They cleared more vines and found a narrow tunnel leading down. Air flowed out from it, cool and clean, unlike the thick, wet air above. Luis, the guide, refused to enter. He whispered, "The gods are sleeping here." The rest of the team went in. Hours later, they reached a huge underground room. The walls were shiny, almost like glass. The light bounced in strange ways, making the space feel alive. At the center stood a tall black spire. It was covered with markings that looked like Incan symbols mixed with something mechanical. They took pictures. Every photo came back blank. That was when the whispering started. Soft voices, everywhere. They could not tell if they were real or in their minds. The first person to hear the full message was engineer Carlos Mendez. Their radios came alive with static. At first, it was just noise. Then, it formed a pattern, like a heartbeat. Mendez stepped closer to the spire. The air went still. Everything went silent. He touched it. Light ran up the surface, wrapping around the spire like veins of fire. He turned to the others and said, "It knows my name." Moments later, the ground shook. The walls moved, showing hidden tunnels and massive doors. When they tried to pull Mendez back, his hand had stuck to the metal. A moment later, he fell to the ground, still breathing but unresponsive. After he woke up, Mendez said he saw bright shapes in the sky. He said beings came down on rivers of gold. He believed the spire was not human, He said it was what the Incas called Viracocha's gift, something the gods left behind. Historians remember Viracocha as a creator god, but some people think it was something else, a visitor from the stars. Could the chamber have been a temple, a machine, or a message? Some think it is part of a global network of ancient power sites that stretch across the planet. They believe these places connect the Andes, Egypt, and even the pyramids of Central America. Others think the whole story was covered up. After the team sent their report, all communication stopped. Officials claimed a landslide buried the valley, but satellite photos show nothing changed. No records of the team exist anymore, and some say government groups arrived later and shut the area down. They say even NASA was involved. Whatever happened, the story disappeared, except for one last recording. The recording from Mendez's radio had a strange rhythm buried in the static. When decoded, it matched the same pattern used in Incan quipas, a type of knotted string once used to store numbers and messages. But these numbers pointed somewhere else. They did not lead to the Amazon. They pointed west, deep under the Pacific Ocean, near the Nazca Ridge, close to the famous Nazca Lines. Some believe it marks an underwater structure made of the same metal found in the jungle. Others think it points to the remains of an ancient civilization, maybe even the lost continent of Mu or Atlantis. And a few go further, saying the Nazca Lines were never meant for people on the ground. They were a map for something above, a signal, a warning. Could the site in the Amazon and the Nazca Ridge be connected? Were they part of an ancient communication system linking the sky, land, and ocean? No one knows. But one thing is clear. We have only begun to uncover what is hidden in our past. No one has ever found the chamber again. Officials call the story a myth, a hoax made for attention. But the few people who were there tell another story. Maybe El Dorado was never lost. Maybe it is just waiting. What do you think lies under the Amazon? A lost civilization? A message from the gods? Or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you love mysteries and stories like this, make sure to subscribe and join us next time as we explore the secrets the world tried to hide. Welcome to the Mystery Room.